Hello and welcome to the Legacy Boss podcast. This is your host, Shauna Klein. I am a mom of two, a wife, coach, mindset mentor, and product business strategist. I am so thankful you're here, and we're on a mission to help product-based business owners start, grow, and scale their businesses, all while living their very best life and leave a legacy both now and in the future. Each week, we dig into business strategy, mindset alignment, and talk to guests who encourage and inspire. Over at The Legacy Boss, we pursue our lives with focus and passion. My co-host Marcy and I believe you are your biggest strength, and equipped with the right tools can soar and live the life you have always dreamed of. So let's get started. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Legacy Boss podcast. If you're joining us for the first time, I am your host, Shauna Klein, along with Marcy, and we are super excited that you guys are here. And today we are going to jump right into a topic that we honestly absolutely love. And that's about business allies. If you don't know our story, that's how we met each other. We were in a Facebook group, and one of the first challenges that we had was to, out of the 1,000 people, find somebody that we could be accountable for the week, and use each other as a sounding board for our project. So that's how I met Marcy. And who knew 2 years later would become a very beautiful friendship.
I know. It's like it went from just sign up for someone to be your accountability partner during this 5-day challenge to becoming business besties and collaborating, having coaching together, creating courses together. This podcast, of course, was birthed out of it. Yeah. And so it was really just a testament that when you put yourself out there and you are open to connecting and networking, that amazing things can happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have somebody in your corner. So hopefully you guys will get some great ahas out of this. And it will be, by the time this is over, you have some tools in your arsenal to be able to identify and find somebody that can be your business ally. So the first thing that we're going to talk about today is accountability. And I know this is a big topic because we tend to, as the American way or as the Western culture, we kind of shy away from the accountability.
I know. It's like we want this freedom, right? It's like, I don't have to be accountable to anyone. It's like all of a sudden when you're 18, you're like, nobody tells me what to do. Yeah. But when you have that other person that loves you enough to be honest and truthful with you, they're going to help bring you forward, right? But we also have to open ourselves up to going, okay, I really want to hear the truth from someone that I could trust and make those movements. Sometimes I think when it's like, I don't want to get uncomfortable, so I'm just going to focus on people that are just going to tell me what I want to hear, or let me, just be wild and free, because then I could just stay in this comfortability. An accountability partner doesn't do that.
Well, we tend to surround ourselves with people that agree with us. I think it's it's what we do emotionally. It's what we do politically, what we do spiritually. Like, we find our tribe of people that kind of have the same belief systems and the same way that they live their life. And we kind of surround ourselves. I don't even think we realize that we do it, but we do, because when you kind of look around, you're like, oh, like, when's the last time somebody told me, oh, that's a really bad idea? She's raising her hand because she's probably told me that. But we need people around us that, not just in a negative way, but also can push us a little bit and do things that maybe are a little bit out of our comfort zone. And Marcy knows that she has the areas that she's not comfortable with. And I tend to push her into those places and saying, hey, you got this. It's not as maybe difficult as you have thought it might be. But you can also move forward with this. So I think that there's accountability on both sides. It's not always the negative of someone telling you when you're not doing something right. It's always also people pushing you past that comfort zone and what you need to do.
Yes.
Agreed.
I totally agree. I totally agree because when you show up authentically too with that other person, because there's that comfortability, because you are kind of keeping each other accountable, when you can show up authentically, you also can grow, right?
Yeah.
And so then it becomes exciting to talk to your accountability partner. It becomes exciting to go, hey, I'm struggling today and this is what's going on. And you're just giving your heart because they know that they are coming at a place with love and everything that they do and say. And then they can say, okay, that's awesome, but scrape yourself off the floor. You got this, go get some caffeine and keep moving.
Yeah.
Where if you didn't have that accountability partner, you would go, okay, I've had a rough morning, so it's okay just to not do anything today.
Right.
Which, may or may not be the case, but that accountability partner is going to keep you accountable to your goals and your dreams and all those things that you've committed to your own self to do.
And I think it's better to have somebody else that's not necessarily in your family or in your personal place, because not everybody can be that sounding board for you. And I think that a lot of times that if you don't have one of those people in your corner that can do that for you, it's just, you only hear one side of the thing. And so not everyone's married to my husband. He has the great ability to hit both sides. We're saying, hey, this is a really great idea. Or he'll say, you're in over your head. Like, I don't even know why you would make that step. And then, so Marcy's the person that I get to come to and be like, am I over my head? Is this a stupid thing? And I'm so thankful that I have somebody in my life that can even out that perspective too. And it's a good thing to have, because sometimes our own personal tribe either A, tells us what we want to hear, or B, they're completely discouraging.
Yes. And I want to throw a little extra in there because I know we have a lot of listeners that are in network marketing. So if that's the case, I highly suggest, okay, I'm just going to tell you, don't do this. Don't create an accountability partner that is someone that you have an income tie to.
Yeah.
Whether you are part of their upline, they're in your downline, however that works. Because that's just this extra little thing that can make you not say something that needs to be said, or not listen to something that you need to hear. So it doesn't mean it doesn't have to be within your circle of people or within your same company. That's okay. But don't get someone that you have any financial tie to at all.
And I think it's really important to recognize that even the best of us have own selfish agendas. Because we want to grow our thing, and that's not a bad thing. We just have to own it and realize it is what it is, right? And so I think that when we're getting into this place of, wanting to have somebody there who is maybe a little bit better than where we're at, so they can pull us up.
Yes.
That's not an accountability partner. That's a coach. And so I really feel like you need to find someone that's kind of at the same business stride as you are, because when you're doing that, someone's not forging ahead and you're getting left behind, or somebody is not dragging you back and you feel like you can't move forward because you feel like every time they call me, it's always drama. Every time they reach out to me, I'm always picking them up from the depths of despair. You need somebody that you can say, hey, is this a good idea? And they're not like 20 years back and have no clue about what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, shop around, date your accountability partner before you marry them, right? Because really, you want to make sure that you're on that same mindset of what you're doing. Now, that being said, someone might be working their business full-time and you're doing part-time. And if you match well with where your head is, that's still a phenomenal match. But and don't be afraid to pivot, right? If you were both just going strong and all of a sudden they're not being that accountability partner that you need them to be, because life, right? Like there's always reasons for things, then it's okay to go, I need to find somebody else. It doesn't mean that you're not still going to be that supportive person for them, but you need to also take care of you first. Because this is to help you and your business and your growth grow, right?
Yeah. And don't be afraid. I know this is going to be a very controversial statement that I'm getting ready to make, but I want it to be very clear that it comes from a place of love. Don't be afraid to say, I've outgrown this accountability relationship. Because here's the thing. If both people are not coming into it, it's like a marriage. I hate to say it like this, but if both people are not bringing the same amount of passion and accountability and trustworthiness and sounding board, and it's just one that's always pulling on the other, it's going to be a pull at some point. One of the things that Marcy, this is like a total transparent thing, but one of the things that Marcy and I set up when we first started doing things together is no holds bar. Everything is not off limits. If you feel any type of way about anything, it's better just to get it out and say it and be authentic about it than there to be anything that's weird. Because we want to have a lifestyle that's building a legacy and that's building an impact. And we can't do that if we're caught up in the minutia of the drama. And so our relationship is really a no drama zone. We don't bring that. We own the things that we need to address. And if someone has something to say someone else, they were like, okay, you need to take a break, go address that. And then let's get back to the business. But those are the things that are important. So don't be afraid to say, this is not personal. I just need to be in a accountability relationship with somebody that's kind of growing at the speed that I am. Yes. And then if you need to get someone above that, that's called a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Boom.
All right. So we're going to segue that into encouragement, because encouragement is literally one of the things that helps us stay true. I hear most of the time the feedback from product bosses is that I thought I was going to start this business and my family and friends were going to come around me and they were going to be this huge support. And they've all told me that I can't do it.
Right. And that's the same with a small business, a brick and mortar small business, a network marketing. You think those people that are closest to you, you're going to be your biggest supporters. They will actually be your biggest, what is the word? I can't say bad words here, but they will be like shooting you down, stripping you down, telling you all the negativity and giving it all to you. And you're like, wait a second, like this is backwards. So really, if you're just getting into entrepreneurship, just know those people that you love, they still love you, but they are not going to be the people that are going to build and grow your business. They just aren't. They will come around, but they aren't, because they've also seen you at your worst. They've heard you say that you were going to do something before that you didn't do. They've heard you say that you were going to show up when you didn't, right? They've seen you in the worst of the worst and the best of the best. So when you say, I'm going to do this, they're like, yeah, right. Okay. And again, it's not that they don't love you. They just know you in a way that they just might not respect your words, because let's face it, we've all said we were going to do something that we haven't done. All of us, we're all guilty of that.
Yeah, for sure.
So really, you want to use that as your fuel. I know I did. I had a family member that was like so negative, and I got a get well soon card. Okay. Shauna doesn't know this story. I got a get well soon card. No, got a get well soon card. And I wrote their name. I said, hey, just wanted to send this to you because I know that you feel absolutely sick about my success. And I had it in my bathroom on my mirror. And it was this fuel for me. Like, they say I can't do this. I can't wait to send them this card. Now, I never sent it because my mindset and the belief in myself grew enough that I didn't care. Yeah. But that was the fuel. So just if you need to be, crazy like me and do that, and someone totally puts you down, That's okay. Don't get the encouragement from people that aren't going to give it to you. Surround yourself with people that have belief in you, because you're going to need to borrow their belief while you're growing your own belief. So if you surround yourself with people who don't believe you, then you're going to go, yeah, this was a crazy idea. So push them aside, love on them, but say thank you, no thank you. Surround yourself with people that have belief in you, and you will grow and accomplish it as long as you put in that work.
Hey friends, we're going to step away from our podcast for just a moment to tell you about some new things happening at Legacy Boss. Have you ever wondered, how do I show up on social media authentically and consistently? There's so many people out there that are showing up and you feel like your stuff just gets lost and you don't know what to post.
We are so excited to bring you something we've been working so hard on, countless hours, blood, sweat, and tears, to bring you something that we wish we had back in the day. We call it Social Creative. It's filled with done for you, but fill in the blank prompts. That way you can keep your message authentic to you. We've included hand curated images, hashtags, holidays, even ideas for your stories, reels, and TikToks.
We think you're going to love this, and you can get all of the information by going to our website at www.legacy-boss.com/social creative. We know that you're going to love this, and we cannot wait for you to join us on the inside of our private Facebook group where we do lots of coaching and tutorials. Join us today. Let's get back to the episode. Yeah. And your biz bestie, your ally, they're going to be at the same place where they have people that have limiting beliefs. And let's just be honest what it is. Most people, and this is probably one of the best pieces of advice my husband gave me when I heard the little in the background, is that you are expecting them to understand something that they don't have the capacity to understand. They work a 9 to 5, or maybe they've never worked a day in their life, or they don't understand your commitment or your drive or your ambition. And so we're all of a sudden transferring what we love and what we have onto someone else. And then we're expecting their encouragement to come back to us. And we need to surround ourselves with allies that are in our corner cheerleading and been like, you've got this. I know it doesn't look like it, but you got this. You're going over, not under. You're not going to drown. Keep swimming, all those things. And so when we do that, we give ourselves permission to understand it's okay for them not to see our vision.
Yeah.
It's okay for them not to see our destination. It's okay for them not to see anything but their thing. And we get the opportunity to come up a little higher and be like, it's okay, sister friend, that you don't get it, but I'm still going to show up and be my authentic self. And I don't expect the feedback that you're giving me to be all, oh, you're amazing, I'm going to buy everything you have. Because honestly, it's just not going to happen. So let's set ourselves up for the realistic expectation.
Yeah. 1,000%. 1,000%.
It's how it is. We could all wish that it was different. But let's be honest. Let's break this down for a second. If I only expect my friends and family to buy from me, and that's my baseline of sales, I better figure out real quick how to change that, because they're going to run out of buying things from me.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the problems with network marketing is that they tell you start with your friends and family and everyone you know, and to bleed them dry. And then they'll tell someone else, like, start with what you have.
Yeah.
And insurance world is the same way. And it's like, people are like, ew, get away.
Yeah. And I mean, my advice is completely ignore your friends and family. And there's not many mentors in network marketing. I love my peeps. I'm still involved, but they will tell you exactly what Shauna just said. And my advice is don't talk, don't offer it to them. Be like you refuse to sell it to them. Okay. And they're going to be like, what is going on? Why isn't she asked me? They will be more curious and they will pay more attention to what you're doing because you are ignoring them. You're like, I don't need you to build my business. I have such belief in what I'm doing that I don't need you. And that's actually the best way to get them to pay attention. Just don't. It's like flirting, right? It's like when you're dating, when you like ignore that person, they're like, oh, I gotta get your attention. Just ignore them. Don't send them private messages. Don't do those copy and paste. Like that's a whole nother podcast we could talk about is some of the bad advice that's happening in network marketing. It's slowly starting to change, but there's some really bad advice out there. Just ignore them. But like Marcy said, not to talk to my friends and family, so I'm just not going to. And I promise you'll do better with your friends and family in terms of them actually paying attention to you.
For sure. Like create your business on what your belief system is and not around the people that that have grown up with you or you expect to do it. All right. So our last topic is about sounding boards and blind spots. Now, I know that this is a little bit intimidating because we need someone to be our sounding board. And I have my little phrase I say when I'm working through something, and my personality is that I have to work through it, vent it, work through it, and then I'm done. It's closed book, done. I don't linger on things. I make a decision and I move on. Whereas some other people, they need to work that and work it and talk to 5 different people. And it's just a whole process. And so we need to have somebody in our corner who can be that sounding board, who can handle our personality idiosyncrasies.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to call it, Marcy?
Yeah. And we all have them, right? We all have them. But something just came to me, Shauna, so I definitely want to get this out there is you have your accountability partner, right? But I know Shauna and I do this. And we actually just had a pretty deep conversation before we even started this podcast today. But both Shauna and I also have another accountability partner, and that's that big guy upstairs, right? We both have time in which we get quiet and we get still and we ask for those downloads and we listen to them. And then what usually happens is Shauna and I will come to each other and be like, yo, I just got this great download. Like, let me process through it with you. Yeah. And then we kind of then, work it through, or like, that's a great idea. Or, hey, what about this? Or how does this work? And it just helps us both process. Yeah. But don't be afraid to listen to that intuition, because that intuition of good, wonderful, amazing ideas and thoughts comes from, let's just put it out there, it comes from God, right? So we need to listen to that. And then when you can then bring those ideas to your accountability partner and do that processing through and have them be that sounding board, it will help you take those next steps of faith and working it and actually doing it. Yeah. Right. Instead of just, well, here's an idea, but now I'm too scared how to move. That accountability partner can help you move forward.
And there's an expectation of when you are using them as a sounding board, they're probably going to come back. Marcy's probably going to come back from stuff I shared from her and be like, okay, like in a couple weeks, like, what are you doing with this?
Yeah.
Like,
how's it going?
How's it going? Are you doing it? And so when we do that, we give each other permission to stay the course.
Yes.
Not taking the 100 rabbit trails that are going everywhere. Because if we're laser focused like a sniper, we're able to get where we need to go. But if we're like a shotgun and we're just shooting everywhere and all these different shots are going off, and there's like what, I don't know how many's in a shotgun shell, but there's a lot, 100.
There's a lot.
And they're going everywhere and they're spraying everywhere. No intended target is actually getting the brunt of that. And so we need to be consistently vulnerable enough, not maybe to share everything all at one time, but knowing when we need to share those things. And so segueing over to blind spots, I think that our blind spots are what keeps us stuck. So we need that person that hears what we're saying, then can address it with some positive, reinforceable, take a look at this. And then there's also some things that we need to hear that says, okay, I'm just going to be completely honest. This is the fourth time that you've come back to me with the same problem. There may be an issue related to something that you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's why it's good from the beginning to pick an accountability partner that you have that trust with, that you know has your best interest at their heart, because they're going to come to you with truth and not just say what you want to hear. It's like we all have a mom, right? And either your mom is that wonderful lady that will just tell you how great you are and that you're fantastic and beautiful and phenomenal, and they'll never tell you something you need to hear. Or you have that mom that just tells you everything you need to hear. You're like, Mom, could you just tell me I'm awesome today?
Yeah.
You know?
Give me something.
Yeah. And so you want to have that accountability partner that kind of has that mix of both, that is there to encourage you and just lift you and get you to move, but will also say, hey, wait a second here.
Yeah.
What about this? Have you thought about this? And then we'll kind of shine all of those lights so that you don't have blind spots, because we all do. We have this great thought or idea or purpose or mission. And then we get so laser focused on that we forget about kind of these things on the side. And so when you have that person to say, hey, watch out for this over here, it helps you to, go forward quicker, which is what we all want to do, right?
Yeah, we're the goal is that we have somebody that we can grab their arm when they're like, there's a landmine, sidestep that, there's somebody. We're not asking you to have someone be your savior. We're asking for someone to be the person that can walk beside you if they need to reach out and grab you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so I think that it's important that we understand the difference between having a ally, someone who has your back, who is also growing, who you have their back and they're also growing. And there's a synergy that happens between them, but they have to be at that same or close to that same level. So one's not pulling the other one down or vice versa. Yeah. Because when we swim, if someone grabs us and is constantly pulling us under the water, we're not making any movement forward.
Exactly.
So find someone. And I know, so Marcy, they're all going like, okay, easier said than done. It's taken me this long to find my husband, and it's done this long to do this. Like, where am I supposed to even start?
Right.
To find an accountability, bestie or ally or somebody that is this person that's outside of my inner circle. How do I find somebody like that?
Well, ta-da! If you didn't already know, we have a great group on Facebook that we call Product-Based Entrepreneurs, right? That's who you are anyway. So it's easy to find us. And so if you go do a search for that, you will find our group. And one of our pinned announcements that stays at the top of our group at all times is find your business bestie, find your accountability partner, go ahead and connect with someone. And so we encourage you to just share a little story about yourself. Hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I'm looking for. And again, that's exactly how Shauna and I found each other, was a post just like that. So we just kind of based our own on that. And then we brought it into the DMs and kind of chatted a little bit. And, ironically, we're not on the same coast. We're 3 hours time different. So it doesn't even have to be that specific. There was just something about us that was just a click. And again, I know it wasn't a coincidence. It was definitely one of those God things that drew us together and has brought us to where we are today. So just look through those with an open mind. Just pour your heart out into it when you do your own post there, and you will connect with the right person. And if you don't, divorce, you can find somebody else. It's okay.
And you don't have to find somebody in the same industry or niche that you're in. I think that's one of the things that people are like, oh, well, if I am a candle maker or I'm a shoe maker, then I need to find someone in the exact same space. And I actually encourage you to find somebody that is saying a lot of the same things you're thinking. And, you can start a dialogue with somebody and get to know them pretty easily and understand, what do you love about business? What's your why? Why are you doing this? Mm-hmm. And when you find somebody that's why is similar to your why, then it's like when you go on a first date and then you find something you have in common right away. It's like, okay, well, let's continue this conversation. Yeah. And if they don't, and it's like, you're wise because you want to stay home and be a mom, and you want to, build your business around your life and your kids. And then, you talk to someone who's wise, they want to travel the world and have a house in multiple continents. And they're not even close to your same thing. You may not have as much in common to talk about. So you'll figure that out pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
So we hope that you will, take it serious to find your person. And listen, we're both people of faith. And if you are as well, just ask. God's not up there wanting you to fail. He wants you to succeed, and he probably already has the person for you. Number 2, do something about it. Put feet to your words. Do something. Don't just sit there. Make a decision. Go on to the Product-Based Entrepreneur group. Post something about yourself. And
be vulnerable.
Be vulnerable. Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm looking for somebody that is a business ally that wants, to also have one. And here's what I'm looking for. And the third step is once you find somebody, don't treat it as a long distance relationship where you just once in a while check up. One of the things that Marcy has built into her planner system is a check. Did you check in with your ally? Did you, if not for yourself, did you find out how they're doing?
Yeah.
Something they need to talk about. So
exactly. And it's just every day. And it could just be a quick, hey, this is what I did today. What did you do? This is what I accomplished. Hey, I got a customer. It doesn't have to be a long drawn out 2-hour phone call. Right. No. And that might be something else that when you are searching for them would be like, this is
how much time I have to commit.
Yeah, because we don't want that to take away from your time. But it's like every day, just like when you're going to show up to work out. If you know someone's going to show up at the gym, you're going to show up because they're going to call you and be like, why aren't you here? So that's really the whole point. You both show up every day and that becomes part of your routine. You will show up every day.
Yeah. So good. Well, hopefully you guys, take some of this and implement it into your own life and business. And we hope that you guys get the same result out of it that we have in our little fat heart. Fat heart friendship. And we hope that you guys have a phenomenal rest of your week and keep pushing and keep making your dreams become a reality. We'll talk again soon. Bye, friends.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Legacy Boss podcast. Make sure to subscribe anywhere you're listening to podcasts. And if you happen to have iTunes, do us a huge favor and leave us a review of the show. We love to hear your honest feedback, and we love those 5-star reviews if you have found great value. This is the way that we get the word out to the world and people who are waiting to hear this type of awesome content. So pay it forward. Giving a review is how we grow. So copy this link and share it out, and let's have this amazing experience growing together. People need and want to be inspired. So thank you for being a part of the Legacy Boss podcast, and go after your dreams. See you next time.